Hi everyone, and welcome back to Waterhouse Forde. So, if you watched our last video, you see that we didn't manage to finish the reassembly of the dynamo. Still investigating options around that. I'm still trying to find out whether there's a way in which I can squeeze those field coils in and basically save that one. But again, I think it really is just down to the fact that having rewrapped those field coils, I've essentially made them too thick. Really should have flattened them out a little bit more, spread them sort of sideways rather than kind of squeezing them so tightly together, which I think has basically made them sort of pulled it in and made it a bit fatter. My mistake. Anyway, for this video, I thought what we'd do, well, the next job really to get onto is the starter motor, which is very similar. You'll see when we come over there in a minute, you'll see that it's quite similar dimensions, the motor part. Obviously it's got the Bendix on it, the Bendix gear and the mechanism that throws that out. But in general, the motor itself is pretty much the same, or very similar at least, to the dynamo. So anyway, what we're going to do, I've not touched this, I've not done anything with it since I got the tractor 3 years ago, so I don't know what state it's in. Looking at it, again, I'll show you in a second, we can see that the back shroud is heavily pitted, in fact rusted through. It has been painted, or at least probably sandblasted and then painted. It was probably sandblasted when the rest of the tractor was sandblasted. And that actually is probably what caused it to break through. But anyway, I'll show you when we get there, and we'll run through that. Now, I need to work out what what to do about that. Maybe it's fine. It probably not. There's some form of bearing or bushing or something in there. So if it's been sandblasted and sandblasting material has got in there, then of course that's not going to last very long. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the workbench, we're going to clean up the terminal so that we can test it, see how it runs, if it runs, and then we'll basically just go from there. So essentially this video is about assessing this starter motor to see whether we can basically just use it. Do we just tidy it up and pop it on the tractor, or do I need to consider doing extra work on it, or do I even possibly even need to consider replacing it? So that's what this video is about. Hope that you enjoy it, and let's get started. Okay, so just make sure this is focused properly. Yeah. So here you can see, this is the shroud I was talking about. You can see how that is, it's just a tin shroud, and that's quite badly pitted, and of course, as you can see, it's no longer complete. So no doubt some dirt and possibly the sandblasting material has got in there, which is a bit of a concern. This terminal is the electrical terminal. You can see that's been painted over, so I need to clean that up, and I want to do that before I take it, before we try and test it. Shall we call it the working part, and the main part seems okay. Just going to stand that in there like that. Hopefully you can see this, or maybe not. There you go. Just get the focus right. Yeah. So this has got a big spring, and this has got this mechanism that swings back and pushes the Bendix, which is here, the Bendix gear, down to engage with the ring gear on the flywheel. So that's nice and free. There's, that seems quite good. We've got a little bit of wear on the leading edge of the Bendix. To be honest, no more than probably is normal. I think it's still serviceable. And then of course you've got this big spring at the back, which is I believe it's essentially like a big shock absorber. So as this thing spins back, it takes up the shock of that. Again, somebody else probably knows better than me, but that's my understanding of what that is. So really, as you can see, if you look at the body of the motor itself, not dissimilar to the dynamo, other than we see that we have four field coils in here, so that's obviously a difference. This side obviously this is the side that was towards the motor, and therefore, as in the engine, therefore obviously never got painted when the tractor was primed. Anyway, let's get this electrical terminal cleaned up, and we'll get started with that. So before I try and wind that off, I'm going to try and get some of this paint off. Let's get some of the paint out of the threads. If I'm not mistaken, this will be like a brass or some form of brass alloy thread, so we don't want to force anything if it's too tight. Okay, that's coming. Paint is definitely making it harder, tougher. So we'll just go back again. Maybe I should be using a ring spanner for this. Yeah, so there's a couple of shavings there coming off, which is not good. I might get a... Let me try and get a scraper to try and scrape that paint out rather. Just basically want to clean the threads to allow this nut to come off. I mean, that wire brush should do it, but it's not very good anymore. Yeah, this paint is quite thick on here. Let's try easing the nut up a bit more again. I think that's coming now, pretty much there. Oh, dropping everything today. Okay, so we can see that it definitely needs a little bit more cleaning up, but we'll get an electrical contact on there. So, not sure about this shroud. I'm a bit concerned about that. But anyway, I'm not concerned about the shroud itself. I'm just concerned that it may have some. Yeah, the bearing itself may not be, or whatever, it's probably a bush that it may now have. Yeah, you see we got, definitely got something going on, something getting caught in there. No, it seems to be free now. That may have just been a bush. I think there's brush. Pretty sure there's brushes underneath this strap here. Maybe let's take that strap off and see. Let's have a look, see what's in there. Now again, this vase has aluminium jaws, so hopefully it's not going to hurt anything. But again, I'm not doing it too tight anyway. Let me get some, let me get a nut and screwdriver to get this off. Okay, I know I said nut, I meant spanner of course, but Look, I found one that sort of fits. This strap, or the screw doesn't seem to be very tight, which is good. So we get that off. I might not take it all the way off, as in take this screw all the way off, because that strap is now loose. And just take it out of the vise now. And hopefully that will come off now. So there we go. Now we can see the brushes and the commutator. So I'll just stand it like that and get this camera to focus. So hopefully you can see in there now. You can see the commutator inside there, and then the brushes running against it. Those brushes look quite worn. There's still a little bit of meat on them, but not a lot, so I might need to think about replacing that. The commutator is also very worn. There's almost no undercut between the segments, which is not good. The brushes feel like they could be freer, if you see what I mean, but not horrendous, just yeah, that one doesn't feel very loose. Yeah. Okay, it's a bit looser now, but that commutator is really badly worn. Okay, well look, I don't think we've got much to lose in terms of spinning this up and seeing whether it will run, and more importantly, just to make sure that this actually springs back and would engage with the ring gear. You'll have to forgive the noise on the roof. It's obviously just started raining, so you could probably hear that. And there's definitely a lot of grit in here, unfortunately, so I think that the starter is going to have to be replaced, or at least maybe just a good service, we'll see. But worried about this shroud at the back, not sure how I'd fix that. So this is the kind of thing that's coming out, falling out, and that to me feels like the grit from the sandblaster. It could just be dirt from years and years of use, I'm not sure. I'm not certain. But right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a battery. We're going to obviously connect it to earth, connect it to ground, and then touch this terminal and see. Let's see whether it actually runs or not. Okay, so I've got that battery connected up. The battery's probably about 80% charged. There's nothing in that, as in that's not by design. It just happens to be. I haven't charged it for a while, so I'm estimating it to be around 80% charge. So I've got my ground on. obviously that's connected to negative on the battery. I'm assuming this is negative earth tractor or in the motor, but I don't actually know that. Anyway, so what we're going to do, I'm going to touch this to the energizer connector, and hopefully we'll see the motor run. Oh, there we go. It's very rough. Well, look, that actually seems to be working absolutely fine. I do still think that I need some new brushes, but it works. You can see the Bendix pulling back, running fine, and then of course stopping. Coming back up when it slows down, so that centrifugal action is happening. It sounds rough, but I think starter motors generally do. They're not, they're not heavy. They're not highly bearinged or balanced motors. They're quite industrial, so I'm not too concerned about that. In fact, I'm not concerned about it at all. Alright, so look, that is good. That seems positive. Just disconnect the battery so we don't cause any problems here. So what am I going to do? Good question. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to research whether I can get these brushes. If I can, I'll definitely replace them. If I'm able to, I might strip this just to be able to get to the commutator, to be able to clean that up a little bit, and just make sure that there's sufficient undercut between the segments on the commutator. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and have watch the video that I did on the commutator of the dynamo. It's not actually called that, but it's I talked a little bit about this when in our last video, where we were reassembling the dynamo. Now the raid noise has got really loud. I'm probably going to have to finish this video now, but have a look at that video, and if you have any questions, then please just put something in the comments. But I think I'm going to try and reuse this motor. I need to work out what I'm going to do with this back tin shield. I might just get some well, I'll see when I get it off. I might just get some, what do they call it, liquid metal. I can't remember what it's actually called now. JB Weld, I think. And maybe just try and create a, just to try and fill it, basically, with that. Obviously, you've got to be careful to keep the clearances. We don't want to land up with the same problem we had with the field coils on the dynamo. But anyway, I'll have a look at it and decide. So I think in the next video, this rain is really getting too noisy now, so I think I'm going to finish this video here. I think what I would have done is I probably would have gone ahead and started stripping this, and I would have videoed that, and that may have been the kind of the end of this video. But again, I don't know how much people are interested in that. So I think because of the rain, because of the noise, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to strip this. If I find anything really interesting, I will film it and I'll tack it onto the end of this video. But I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Sorry this is such a short one. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that there's something in it for you. More importantly, we'll get onto, in the coming videos, we'll get to cleaning this up and basically hopefully bringing it back to service and getting it on the tractor so we can move forward. Thanks everybody. Hope you have a great week. Speak to you soon. Cheers for now.